Hey guys and welcome back. My name is Sandra and today I'm going to be filming the reading retrospective tag. This tag was created by my wonderful friend Pauline over at Dancing Lawn, so I will leave her original video down below and I will also leave the questions down below. But definitely go and check out Pauline's video because she just created this tag like in December. So the tag has 10 questions and it just allows you to really look back at your reading year, so 2019 I'll be talking about, and just it makes you take a look at your reading from a very varied perspective. I had a hard time choosing a lot of books to fit these tags, so yeah, I'm a bit indecisive. I mean, not indecisive, I just have a lot that I felt would qualify, but then I did narrow it down to one. So the first question from this tag is, which book you read this year would you recommend to anyone and why? So I've made a bunch of notes and I have a couple of like suggestions. Basically all my books are just falling down right now, so that's great. So it was choosing between the World and Me, which is this book, Fire on All Sides by James Rhodes, Half a World Away by Mike Gale, Money, A User's Guide, and The Fisherman. So Money, A User's Guide, The Fisherman. I ended up going with The Fisherman. I've already blabbed about this so much. Like, I've done a reading vlog on it. I talked about it in my African literature one, and I feel like I've also talked about it somewhere else. But it's just the emotions of this. It's actually won the Man, no, it was shortlisted in 2015 for the Man Book. I feel like it might have won. Did it win? Let's double check that before I spread fake news. Apologies, it did not win. The other book that I have that I don't like, A Brief History of Seven Killings, that's one that won. But this book is about four boys in Nigeria who sort of become fishermen, but like it's not, I want to say it's a joke, it's not a joke. They go down to like this river place that they're sort of forbidden to go to, and they go there and fish, and one of the days that they go and fish, a madman basically prophesizes that the oldest brother will be killed by one of his siblings, and that just sets off a series of really horrible, sad events in these children's lives. And it's just the story, it's just crushing, it's heartbreaking. Oh my god, like the emotions, it just stays with me, and I just really enjoyed it. I would recommend it to anyone because I feel like there's nothing in here that I don't think anyone can't connect to. There's just four children spanning from like 9 to 15, and I think as well, if you have siblings, that you can just sort of understand the sort of battles that you have with your siblings and things like that. But I think it's just really heartbreaking. It's really well written, and I don't know, I would just recommend it to anyone if anyone asked me about a book that I really loved this year. The second question is, which book you read this year has taught you something new? Again, I struggled with choosing this, but I have listed down Taking Up Space, Don't Touch My Hair, Money, A User's Guide, this one, Gross Anatomy, I always feel like I'm about to say that word wrong, Happier Thinking, the Poirot series by Agatha Christie, Red Dust Road, and Sight by Jessie Greengrass. But my overall sort of winner is definitely Money, A User's Guide. This taught me so much, just so much about just finances, from the right bank to renting to like Help to Buy loans, so many things. I mean, I'm still poor, but you know, it has taught me loads of things, and I just need to keep like rereading it and going back to it. But yes, the overall winner. The third question is, which book you read this year came just at the right time when you needed it? I would say Fire at All Sides. It was between Fire at All Sides and Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, but I have read Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine before. I would say Fire at All Sides. It was just a really captivating memoir of James Rose's sort of illness, his illness with OCD, mental illness, depression, I can't remember what else he has, and his sort of life and how he deals with that as alongside his music career. It was just, I think it was really harrowing, and it was one of the sort of rare mental health books, or books about mental health, or like memoirs, that I feel like I could really relate to. Like, I felt it dealt with a lot of things that are usually just really glossed over, or things that I don't find a lot of these books contain. And it was just really there in terms of being able to read about thoughts that I really identified with and really understood. The fourth question is, which book you read this year will stay with you for a long time? So I would again say, I'm always having to just go back and pick up all these books, but The Fisherman, Between the World and Me, and also Sight by Jessie Greengrass. But overall, it's going to be The Fisherman again. I read it in, was it August? I feel like I'm going to say August. I'm not sure. I read it then, and honestly, I just haven't stopped thinking about it. Like, it just stays in my head. Like, it has really just given me all the feels. It's really sad, but also really good. And yes. The fifth question is, which book you read this year expanded your reading horizons? So that includes new genres, authors, themes, style, or format. You can choose between any of those. And I feel like this year was the year, 2019 was the year of expanding my genres, I suppose. I always think that I tend to read quite widely across genres, but I don't know, maybe they're just all like really just like literature and it just doesn't go beyond that. But I set myself a goal last year in 2019 of reading sci-fi books. So I read a ton of sci-fi books. I have created a video where I talk about that, but like 24% of my reading this year was made up of science fiction. And also like a goal that I set up for reading African literature, and again I have another video talking about that. But saying that, I would say that Dark Eden is the book that sort of expanded my horizons and has made me want to keep on reading science fiction. I just fell in love with this book when I read it. It was the world building. Dark Eden is basically about the sort of evolution of a family. A group of inhabitants live on this planet called Eden, and it says here, you are one of 532 descendants of Angela and Tommy. You live in Eden, you're a member of a family of 2 marooned explorers. You huddle, slowly starving in the warmth of geothermal trees confined to one barely habitable valley of an alien, sunless world. And then it goes on to say, you are John Red Lantern, you will break laws of Eden, shatter the family, and change history. You'll be the first to kill another, the first to venture into the dark, and the first to discover the truth about Eden. And it's just spectacular. The world building is spectacular. The themes running through this of, you know, heroes, of storytelling, of, you know, how do you keep moving and being a progressive society and not just staying stuck in the same ways that you are. All of it is in here, and it's just the way it makes you think. I'm fully in love with this book, and it definitely broadened my horizons. But also, speaking on that, another sort of, I guess, author that broadened my horizons is Agatha Christie. Like towards the second half of the year, I ended up reading, or rather listening to, a lot of Agatha Christie books. And yeah, I don't see myself as someone who really reads a lot of detective novels, but I really enjoyed her books. So as I've now found out, puzzle mystery books, I really enjoy them. I'm not good at solving any of the mysteries, but I really do enjoy them. So the sixth question, yes, is which bookish things did you particularly enjoy doing, purchasing, using this year? So I'm going to say like my top thing was, in 2019 anyway, was London Book Fair, certain parts of my job, and secondhand book shopping. So the first two are actually technically publishing and industry related, but it's all related to the making of books and, you know, getting books out there to people. The third one, which is secondhand book shopping, I have always been someone who just orders their book on Amazon. I know, like, terrible, but like I just haven't really enjoyed the process of going to shopping bookshops. I don't really enjoy the process of shopping either, and that is just mainly an anxiety related things. I hate going there and people asking me questions or me having to ask someone stuff. I'm just like, I just want to browse in peace. But I did film like my sort of 4 top bookshops in Glasgow, and when I was in London, like every time I go back to London, I try and go to a new bookshop, mainly just to support the independents, but also just because some of these shops are really pretty, so I get to take nice pictures. But definitely, like, going secondhand book shopping has been really fun. It's just been really fun, like finding the books that you like have on your list for a lot cheaper, but also supporting those small booksellers. The 7th question is, who were some booktubers, subscribers, or other bookish friends that you got to know better this year, whether that be through watching, comments, personal contact online, or in real life, or otherwise? I have been really fortunate in 2019 to make some friends through Booktube, and I just think it's really amazing because it's not something I expected. So first off, obviously Pauline, the one who created this tag, we watch each other's videos, but we also talk on other platforms as well, and we've also done a buddy read. And I think recently we've both like found out that we both watched this TV show called Zumbo's Just Dessert. So it's just been nice expanding that outside of just Booktube. Another person I feel like I've really gotten to know better is Marina over at Young, Gifted and Black. I just love her book reviews and the books that she reads. She's really like my source of loads of African literature because she reads a varied amount and her reviews are so good. She's really funny. Like, I feel like Marina is my kind of person. She makes all these really like sarcastic comments that I'm just like, that is hilarious because that is me. So just like in terms of other things, I just find her really brilliant. Her reviews are excellent, and just personality wise, she's really cool. Another is Tomofaye at A Time to Share Books. I really apologize if I've said your name wrong. She is a South African booktuber, and she's just been so supportive of my channel, but I also really enjoy watching her videos, and again, I get loads of recommendations from her. So I think it's just been nice to be able to talk to her and like I follow her on Instagram. It's just been nice to obviously expand that relationship outside of YouTube. My final person I'm going to mention is a subscriber, and I did speak about her in my science fiction video that I did, and that is Kitty Cats. I hope I have remembered that right, because, you know, I've done it again. I feel like, no, I got that wrong. So I think it's Kitty Cats on Goodreads, but it's Vamp Rocks on YouTube. I should check these things before I start filming. But yes, definitely a shout out as a subscriber. I think we just chat a lot about different books and how we feel about them. I feel like she just gave me so many great recommendations, but throughout the year, like, she's been commenting on my video. We follow each other on Goodreads, and I just love like watching her reviews reading her reviews of books that she's read, and just the interactions that we have about books I really like, because that's the reason like I created this channel, so I could have those sort of bookish interactions. The 8th question is, what booktube videos do you particularly enjoy this year? So I struggled with this one because when Pauline answered this, she talked about like, I guess, different series that she watched, and I guess I don't really tend, like, anyone I watch doesn't really tend to do series or stuff like that, but I will mention the Bookish Land when she did her series of her reviews for the Women's Prize for Fiction 2019 shortlist. I really liked watching her reviews. I like her channel in general, but it was really nice to see her sort of review these books and see her thoughts. The 9th question is, did you discover a new all-time favourite book? I did. It will be no surprise to anyone that The Fisherman was on this list, but also some other books that I haven't mentioned here. Trick Mirror by Gia Tolentino, Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo, and Peril at End House by Agatha Christie. But also My Dark Vanessa, which this is a proof copy, so I think the actual final copy, which I think comes out at the end of this month, is different. But I chose My Dark Vanessa as the overall winner. The reason I chose this is because it gave me a very nostalgic feeling for how, like, for the books I used to read when I was a teenager. And this, if this was a book when I was a teenager, I would have loved it. I loved it now, but oh my gosh, I thought this book was so well done and very sort of contemporary and like of its time, but I still feel like you could read this 10 years later or 15 years later and still be like, this is a really powerful book. And yeah, when I was looking back through all the books, I was just like, this really stood out to me. Like, I know it's like super popular at the moment and for really good reasons. Like, I think it's such an interesting exploration of this relationship of, I say relationship, it's not a relationship, of this, you know, rape, grooming of this young 15-year-old girl. But there are so many aspects in it that I think loads of teenage girls and now adult women can really relate to and would have gone through. Not the grooming and rape aspect. I mean, surely people have gone through those, but that's not the part that I'm talking about. Well, you guys get me. But yeah, so I chose this as like my all-time fave, because, you know, I praise The Fisherman a lot, but this, yeah, excellent. So the 10th question is simply to tag your favourites. I will just tag everyone down below as well, but obviously Pauline is one of my favourites, but she's already done the video. So Marina over at Young, Gifted and Black, Tomofaye, A Time to Share Books, and other favourites that I'm not really tagging because they don't watch my videos, but just favourites that I think in general for like other people. But you guys probably already watched them. But Jean Bookish Thoughts, Mercy's Bookish Musings, and also Left on Red. I would just leave their channel links down below because they are people that I really enjoy watching. A lot of the time, like, I think the only person I really have books in common with is probably Mercedes from Mercy's Bookish Musings, but I just enjoy watching the other two just because I enjoy watching their channels. But that is it from me today. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I really liked like thinking about my questions for this tag. As you can see, I thought about it a lot, and that's why I had loads of books to show you. But yes, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in another video. Bye.